Well, hi there, guys, and you saw right. We're playing Baseball Stars today. So the thing that's going on here is I want to create a video that's going to be sort of a thank you to everybody who had to sit through that awful LJN Major League Baseball video. I know that I was very negative in that. It's because the game really sucks. Anyway, I wanted to come out with a project that was maybe a little bit more long-term, which is what this is intended to be. And I wanted to play a game that's actually good, that people will enjoy. And part of the reason why, of course, is because a lot of people really want to see this game. In fact, there were a lot of people in the comments who said that, you know, they thought that Major League Baseball was good until they discovered games like Baseball Stars. So we're going to do a long-term Baseball Stars project. I don't know how long this will take us. My goal is to create a super team in Baseball Stars without cheating. So none of the, you know, what is a wren, a bird, when isn't it, when it is, none of that stuff, none of the cheating stuff, none of me playing against myself so I can get more money. We're going to play this game like the real way, and we're going to see how far we can get, and we're going to see how long it takes us to get that far. So buckle up, because this is going to be a pretty crazy ride. I'm going to basically do this like one game at a time, one video at a time, because I know that this is very, very long and that it's a very, very long project. Because I'm doing this on an emulator, I don't have to worry about the game totally like resetting and the battery pack dying and stuff like that, which you normally have to worry about with this game. The other thing is, so you know, I'm playing the US version, or the North American version, I should say, not the Japanese version. I was tempted to play the Japanese version, but I realized that you cannot type names in English, and I thought that's going to kind of spoil the fun. The reason why I was tempted to do it is because, like, you know, the American team and stuff has some really, really interesting names. I consider it to be a lot more creative than the US version of the game in that sense. But, you know, it's the same game either way. It doesn't really matter that much. And this way I won't, like, click the wrong thing accidentally and whatever will happen. Anyway, I'll explain more of this sort of as we go along, but just so you know, that's sort of the rationale behind this and the thought behind this. This is going to be a long-term project. I know this video is going to be open for everybody who wants to watch it to watch. The next one will likely be channel members only, as an incentive for people to become a channel member. And then probably every like 4 or 5 days we'll have, you know, a free video or 2 or something like that for everybody to check out. That's, you know, sort of what the strategy is. So, you know, consider supporting the channel. You can watch all of the videos in this series. If you don't want to watch, you know, a bunch of Let's Play series for a series that like never ends, then you don't have to. You know, you can go watch something else. It's fine. Where I'm still going to do a lot of, you know, long form videos. I still have a lot of ideas and a lot of projects that I'm thinking about. So just so you know. Anyway, let's cut out the introduction. Let's just get to it. So here we have beautiful and wonderful Baseball Stars. Now, just so you know, because I'm using RetroArch, every single time I click outside of, and you know what, I need to have the sound on here for you. There you go. So you're not just listening to me. There you have it. Every single time I do anything to click like outside of the window, like I just did there, the game will pause. That's the RetroArch thing. I think I can turn that off, but you know, whatever. I'm probably not going to. So we're just gonna go straight through with this and make team. We want to do a balanced team, what are we gonna call this? And yeah, I'm gonna end up spending a little bit of time kind of going through all this stuff and setting it up, just like, you know, this is, I don't know. We'll just call it team. There you go. And I think, if I remember right, I think this is the one you want to choose for a balanced team to get a little bit more strength. I don't have like a guide open in front of me or anything like that, right? So we'll go take a look at our team and see what it is that we've come up with. Again, you know, the pitchers are kind of... So the thing that you're looking at here when you're looking at this game is you're looking at sort of the max number of points. Yeah, we have $32,000 if we want to, you know, get anybody maxed out or maxed up or anything like that. When you read strategy guides, people will tell you that what you really want to do is you want to max out the prestige as much as you can early on, especially for pitchers. Prestige is like the real important thing. You also are looking out for players that have max values of basically under like 70 or so. That's not a good thing. It just means that you can't max them out as much as you could like another player. So this player, for example, probably going to be sort of like a star for us, assuming that we max them out. This one will also be kind of a star for us. Meanwhile, people like the center fielder, this guy, we're probably going to end up getting rid of. we're not going to do it right away because we need to actually like win some games first. So I did a little bit of testing in this game to sort of figure some stuff out. And one of the things I've realized, I didn't really know that much before, is that if you like release a player, you don't get the money that the player's, you know, like upgrade cost gets. In other words, you can't like go through and release like all of the pinch hitters and get a whole bunch of money and then be able to upgrade everybody. It doesn't quite work like that. You know, I thought that, oh, maybe I have some sort of secret, but it doesn't work that way. Anyway, just looking really quick at sort of like the max amounts and all that stuff. And anyway, you can give me sort of like your advice, what it is that you would do. I think what we're going to do is, we're going to power up our first baseman, who's kind of our power hitter there. Normally you would say, most people say you want to power up the prestige first. Actually, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to put a little bit of it into hitting, a little bit into batting, and then maybe we'll put a little bit into prestige, maybe something like that. If we have enough money, maybe to power up one more. Yeah, we could power up this guy if we wanted. Now, one of the things that I'll tell you about this game is that, like right there where I had, what was it, like 6 points or whatever of prestige to use, usually that's not going to happen. Usually what happens, especially if you just turn the game off, it will only give you 2 points of prestige the first time every single time, which is there to prevent you from like totally cheating with the game and, you know, figuring out a way to, you know, like save scum and stuff like that. So we'll just play, we'll play against the SNK Crushers, which is theoretically the easiest team to play against. You'll notice I haven't named any of the players or anything like that. We'll do that as time goes on. I only really want to give names to the players that I know I'm actually going to keep. So for right now, we're not going to do that. What we want to do first of all is we want to play probably a versus game against every single team. And sort of see, you know, how we do with that, and then eventually get a league going. The first thing we want to do, of course, is get used to the controls again. That was a little embarrassing. But in addition to getting used to the controls, we want to try to get a little bit of money together and get to the point where we can actually beat some of these other teams. Because when we can beat the teams, that's when you can start putting together a little bit of money, and you can make it so that, you know, you can go buy some better players and you can really get the game going. Oh, this isn't too bad. So the first couple of games especially are going to be kind of rough. It's going to be kind of rough because it's just sort of the nature of the game, right? Like at the beginning of this game, because of how the game is developed, you're not going to have a whole bunch of like really, really good players. It's just, you're just not. You're going to see a lot of stuff sort of like that, right? You're going to have guys who really, really struggle to get base hits, guys who struggle to get on base, and on and on and on. Anyway, I do have a naming system sort of in mind, but what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm not going to do anything, you know, off camera or anything like that. Everything I do with this game I'm going to record and I'm going to have up here for everybody to see, so you can sort of see like the real way to play the game. I don't know if that's like, you know, a normal thing in the Let's Play world or not. I'm not necessarily that well versed in Let's Play. The nice thing about the fielding system in this game, by the way, is the same as the other SNK baseball games, is that it will always put your fielder like at least relatively close to where the ball is going to be coming. So like you can see right there, my guy kind of was like running a little bit to the side or whatever. It's because the computer was trying to steer him into where he needed to be. I was pushing down, but not like down and right. Almost got a double play out of that. That would have been amazing. 7-5-4 double play. Anyway, if you have never played Baseball Stars before, I've got to tell you that this is probably the best game on the NES, the best baseball game on the NES. One of the best games on the NES in terms of sports games. I have it up there probably with Tecmo Super Bowl in terms of playability. It really is more like an RPG than it is just a sports game. There are some things that will drive you nuts, especially at the beginning when you're playing like this, because you get a lot of, you know, guys with absolutely no power. You got guys like the shortstop hitting 150. So the average that's displayed is kind of like what this player is expected to hit. I should have let that pitch hit me, actually. It's my only real chance of getting on base. And then I hit a base hit, of course. How about that? Anyway, that's where that comes from. The averages and stuff is sort of like a representation of what the player's average is according to what his ratings are in game. In a way, you can think of this as like an early form of OTP. Like, I really mean that. That's another game that uses a lot of, averages, a lot of, what am I thinking of? Attributes and stuff like that to measure different parts of the game. That was a strike, really? Anyway, this game in that sense it's a lot like OTP in that, it's really those attributes that really, get the whole engine moving more so than, raw statistics. We're doing okay. We're getting base runners at least. But it's not going to last long. As soon as this pitcher's tired, it's going to be a little bit harder. And so ratings like the defensive ratings and stuff actually do matter in this game. Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah. You ruined it. You spoiled the double play. If I did have one complaint about the game, it's that the field is a little bit big. It's like, I feel like second base is like a mile away, which is the reason why he was able to get that extra base. I don't know why the computer does that, but it does. So there you have it. Anyway, this is actually, by the way, I think this is my first time trying to play this game and like do this project the right way instead of just cheating from the start. I'm pretty sure that when I was a teenager when I bought this game. This was back in, this would have been in 1997, so I probably got this game for like $5. I remember spending a lot of time playing it, and I especially remember spending a lot of time doing the trick where you have both controllers plugged in and you play against like the lovely ladies over and over again, and you always win. You have to do it if you do a two-player in league mode. In versus mode, it doesn't give you any money because it knows that you might do a trick like that. But if you do it in league mode, you win by 10 runs every time. You can get tons and tons of money right away and then upgrade your team and then always have a really good team. That's what you do if you want to like play it the cheap way. But if you want to do it the real way, you kind of have to tough it out. You have to keep practicing. You have to get lucky a couple times. And overall, it makes for at least what I think would be better content for a channel like this. But then again, what do I know? Maybe I'm wrong about it. I don't know. You tell me. Of course, it would make for much better content if I could actually hit the ball, which is another problem. And since now we know that that's called a strike, we have to swing it like everything, even if it's in on the hands like that. Now, the speed of this game improves a lot as your team improves. It's not always this like, totally really slow, your guy can't beat anything out type game. It does have those NES baseball problems like we just saw there. You hit a ground ball to third and it's a single almost every time. Although that changes when you start getting fielders who are really good and who have good defensive ability. That's the thing about this game. So it depends upon relative strengths of the teams and whatnot. I don't know why he ran part of the way to second. I'm guessing it's because the guy wasn't to the bag yet, but I don't know. If I were to have one complaint about this game, it would be the fielding screen because it's zoomed in so far. And like I said, they do a really good job with that in this game. Same thing with other games that are based on this model. So Little League World Series. Oh, shoot. Whoops. Little League World Series does this. Legends of the Diamond does this, right? In that it will always have the player, the fielder, over where he needs to be to actually get at the ball. Well, you talk about tacking up. I mean, the guy was just standing on first base the whole time. Anyway, that was fun. It's still a scoreless game. This is probably the most comical scoreless game I've ever seen. All right. when this game came out in Japan back in 1989, Famitsu, which was the big video game magazine in Japan, called this game basically a groundbreaking game. They said basically that this game had changed, you know, the conversation on baseball games, and it was because of all of these RPG elements. I mean, this was several years after, you know, Dragon Warrior had become a really big game in Japan, you know, and the idea though of taking like these kind of like team development ideas and stuff and applying them to a baseball game was really new and novel. To give you sort of an idea, Dragon Warrior 1 came out in what, like 1986? So by this time in 89, I think we were up to Dragon Warrior 3 or 4. I give you kind of an idea of how things were developed, and I think that this is probably around when like Final Fantasy 3, the original one, came out. But in many ways, this is like the RPG of, you know, like traditional type baseball games. It's also not the only game on the NES, or on the Famicom, I should say, that has RPG-like elements as a baseball game. As we go further on in 2026 and start playing more Famicom baseball games, we'll see a couple of games that have a lot of these kind of RPG-type elements. And there's also, I've mentioned it before, but there's a Capcom baseball-themed RPG. I didn't mention that on this channel, by the way. That was a different channel I was talking about then. I think that was the Mega Man Soccer video. But there are a whole bunch of like interesting games like that came out in Japan only on the Famicom. So there's a lot of stuff for us to look at and to sort of check out. And you know, as I've been trying to do this whole time, as I was doing with RBI Baseball 2, like the idea is to play you know, those games, and when I play them, turn them into sort of these types of Let's Play style gameplay videos. So you can watch and listen to my commentary and make sarcastic remarks about how I keep talking about how bad LJN's Major League Baseball is, or whatever it is that people keep saying. We probably should change pictures here. This looks pretty bad. In theory, I was reading, you know, advice people had for playing this game while I was planning this project, and they were saying that, you know, in theory, you don't need to have relief pitchers, but actually you do. You really need to have relief pitchers in this game unless your guy has really good stamina, because otherwise what happens is you get to the 5th inning and shoot, we're gonna give up a run, I think. If you don't have really good stamina with your pitchers, you know, you get to like the 5th inning and he starts falling apart, and it gets to the point where he's throwing a bunch of like 50-mile-an-hour fastballs and he can't curve the ball anymore, and that's when you really get in trouble. Their number 4 hitters hitting 161. There's a rarity for you, the little bloop fly ball that turns into a force out of the plate. Again, you know, when your players are improved, and when they, you know, when you have some money and they have better like defensive statistics, then it becomes a lot easier to catch those you know, bloop base hits and stuff. Hey, we got out of it without giving up a run. How about that? I didn't think we were going to do it. Now all we have to do is figure out a way to score. So the first couple of videos in this series are probably going to be a little bit painful to watch. But the nice thing is that SNK made it so that you know, you do actually stand a chance at this game, right? It's not like you're going to start off and you end up losing every game right off the bat. It's just that if you try to play like the lovely ladies to get the money, it's not going to work right away. I tried to do a hit and run to get out of that, and it still happened. Make it? Yep. How about that? We'll double down the left field line. Now they're going to change pitchers. See, you have to change pitchers. Fall. Yes. That's not bad at all. So with 2 outs, we're able to score 2 runs there in the top of the 6th. The shortstop's 2 for 2, by the way. I don't know what his luck rating is. Maybe that's what it is. Can you get lucky here? So close. But unfortunately, we can't throw the ball to first base. We're going to use up their whole bench. That's a good idea. Put the guy in who's hitting 142. But then he does that. You can climb the fence, by the way, but obviously I wasn't able to get there in time. So it's 2-2 now. So I guess it's not going to be quite as easy as we thought. Uh-oh. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of games that I've covered that I think we will also do sort of like one-offs videos on, you know, because I would like to play some of them again. People have talked to me, for example, with me, for example, about like, you know, bases loaded 3, bases loaded 4, which are not my favorite games in the NES. But I think that we'll end up sitting down and like playing a full game out together, probably with both of those. I'll try not to be quite as negative as I was with Major League Baseball. It's just that game really sucks. This is not fun. That wasn't the 3rd out? Oh, I guess it was only the 2nd out. Oh, come on. Yeah, well. There we go. Alright, 2-2 game. That's alright. If we lose, the only problem is we don't get any money. We have to keep trying to win. I think the SNK Crushers are actually the easiest team to play against, so we need to get to the point where we can beat them and start beating them soundly before we can move on. We could always just set up a league right from the beginning, but I think I'm more inclined to do some of these versus games first, sort of get used to everything again, and then move on from there. Shoot, I should have let that pitch hit me. Well. Oh, that looked pretty embarrassing. So you know as well, if you haven't seen it already, we have a full-length video coming out. That would have hit me as well. We have a full-length video coming out on Wednesday. You'll see that pretty soon. And if you're watching this later on or whatever, you'll see it. Oh, shoot. I forgot about that. Yeah, good job. Now it really gets fun. Left-handed pitcher. So here in the early going, because we're at the beginning, we're probably just going to do a whole bunch of these like one-off versus games. We really don't have to worry so much about developing like all of the pitchers and even all of the hitters. You really just want to develop the people who are in your starting lineup. And even at that, like, I'm not sure that I'm going to spend a whole lot of time developing people who don't have very high sort of maximum potential. Again, if you're thinking about this in terms of like OTP, what you're thinking about is like, you know, sort of like the star ratings, and, you know, you're thinking about like the people who have a maximum potential of like, you know, 50 whatever it is, you know, having like a maximum star potential rating of like 3 or something. Right? We're trying to stay away from players who are like that. What we want are more players who have really high potential ratings that we can then sort of build up. And the ideal way to do that is to go like get rid of the players you don't want, and then go find a rookie who's not going to cost you too much money. You get a bonus once you hire them, and, you know, kind of go from there. All right, let's see if we can sock one out of here. Also, kind of keeping an eye on the time to know how long these games are going to take in the early going. While we're still sort of struggling here, it's going to take a little while. Eventually, we'll get to the point, at least I hope, where we can start, winning by 10 runs, really early on, and make it so that we don't have videos that end up lasting like, 35, 40, 45 minutes. So we'll see. The other thing I want to say is that I know that Super Mega Baseball is well known for this type of play as well. I haven't actually played that game yet, and I think most of you probably know that. A lot of people have been telling me that I should. I am planning on playing that game eventually. Shoot, I wasn't ready for that. I don't know if I'm going to end up doing like a project like this with it or not, but maybe it's something to sort of consider. But I know from at least what I've read that, there are a lot of similarities between that game and this one. But, I mean, the night is young, right? It's not like I don't have to do everything on this channel like all at once. There's a lot of stuff we have coming up. The video that's coming out on Wednesday will be interesting to at least some of you. I'm talking about baseball cards in 1981 and sort of the beginning of the junk wax era and stuff like that. So, look forward to that. That'll be good. I think even those of you who might not have that much interest in the world of card collecting will find it an interesting video. At least I hope so. And the reason why I do that is because I'm not just trying to make, a channel that focuses on like video games. I'm trying to focus on everything, about the sport, everything about, the culture around it, all of the stuff that I loved, especially when I was a kid. Right? That's really kind of what I want to, get my focus on. So anyway, that's kind of what the plan is. One thing I would really love is if we could win this game. That would be excellent, but I don't know if we have it in us. Nope. Not in the 9th inning, at least. Oh, another lefty. How about that? Oh man, that was so close to double play. I don't remember if there are extra innings or not, so we're about to find out. Oh, there are. Okay. They have 17 hits and only 2 runs. How about that? I've got to time it better so I can get hit by those pitches. So with hitting, as your players improve, they improve their ability to actually make contact with the ball, and their ability to actually hit the ball for power also improves over time. Boy, I was lucky there. I thought that was going to be caught. This is a really bad team. SNK Crushers are really, really bad. The other game that I really want to go back to, and I might go back to pretty soon, is I Love Softball. You'll remember that's the game that I complain about where you can never see where your outfielders are stationed and stuff like that. It's the game with the anime girl with her butt on the cover. That's actually a really, really good game. It's a lot of fun. Really, really good game other than the fact that it's incredibly hard and is really frustrating. But it's a fun game. It's a game that I know other people have played on YouTube because I've seen their videos. That was poorly done by me. I should have just let him score. Oh well. The reason why I bring that game up is because most of the YouTube videos that talk about it are people talking about how that game is just a Famistop ripoff, and they don't really have anything interesting to say about it, in my opinion at least. If you're going to have the pitcher run towards the ball, why don't you have the pitcher field the ball? Anyway, I know I think in the video I made about I Love Softball, I kind of like went off on it. I think I called it I Hate Softball, mostly kind of a creative name. It's actually not that bad of a game. It's just really frustrating is the thing, right? It's a game where like, it's one of those games where you really, really wish that it were a little bit better, and you know, it has a lot of potential for being good. Anyway, we'll play that game eventually here, and we can talk about it in a little bit more detail. Shoot. Oh, shoot, no. Uh-oh, I think we're about to lose this game. Maybe I shouldn't have changed pitchers. This guy doesn't have a fastball at all. Yeah, we just lost this game. Well, that's the way that this one ends. We got 2 runs in the top of the 10th, and we end up losing anyway. And the worst part about all of this, we'll see in a second, you get no money if you lose. They don't get any money because it's the computer-created team. There you have it. In fact, you know what? We'll go over here to end play. We'll play this just like as if we were actually playing the cartridge. Now, the one thing we have to keep in mind is that I'll let this finish. The one thing that we have to keep in mind about this is that that means that when we upgrade our players next time, it's going to make it so that it only gives it like 2 points or whatever per upgrade. But you know, as long as we keep that in mind, I think we'll be okay. Anyway, there you have it. That's the first game here with Baseball Stars. It was a frustrating loss, but we're going to keep at it, and we'll keep trying. I have a feeling that the more that I play this, the more I get used to it, the better off we're going to be. I don't know if we'll play SNK Crushers again or if we'll play a different team. I don't know. You can let me know what you think down in the comments. And we'll keep it going. Let me know what you think about this series and what you think the future will hold for it. And I'll talk with you again next time. Bye.